Hello, everybody. Happy Friday and Happy New Year. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is Cheri and I am on week 34 of my whole food plant-based journey. And actually, if you've been following along, I think I said I was on week 34 last week, and I was wrong. This week is 34, last week was 33. I think I corrected it in the notes. But anyway, hope you're doing well. I've got lots of dust flying around. I don't know if you can see that. But yes, so I'm doing my weekly update. I do this little check-in for myself and accountability video on Fridays. I've got a lot of big news today that I'm going to share at the end, so you have to stay to the end. You have to watch the whole entire thing, and then you'll get the big news. But yeah, so I do the, if you don't know my story, I've got in the show notes for YouTube here, I've got the very first video that I kind of talk about my story. But again, wait to the end. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But wait, check in, because I do that. 2:31 when I was in the hospital. I was 1:47 last week when I did the video with Mr. Bant. He was going to be in today, but we're going to be getting bunch of snow, and we have bunnies outside, so he's getting them all wrapped up so that they're not getting all snowed on. But anyways, so I'm alone today. 1:47 again. So I was 1:47. Midge says hi from the background. I don't know if you can hear that. 1:47 last week, 1:47 this week. I'm pretty pleased with that because I've eaten lots of snacky snacks, like a little bit more crackers, a few of the vegan cheeses. I think it's Mayoka cheese, which is mainly just oil, guys. It's not really good for you. But I went up to about, from last week, I went up to about 150, maybe 151. So then I went up and then back down again. And I've been doing a lot more walking since we're still not homeschooling this week. We're still off for vacation. So this week I've gotten a lot more walks in. So that's been nice. So we'll see with the lots of snow coming. I don't know how much we're actually going to get. I don't know about you and where you are, if you're in a snowy area, but it seems like they predict it and it doesn't necessarily, we don't necessarily get all the stuff that they say. So we'll see. We will see. And my doggie is, I should have them bring her in here. We'll have to see if she keeps up. Maybe I'll call her in and then you can see how my little doggie has gotten very large. But anyways, okay. So update, couple things. I ended up going to the doctor for my follow-up. I shared all of my numbers last time and they were just really good. And it was so fun to be able to go in and see him. He's a physician's assistant, but I call him a doctor because he's my doctor, right? So he was really pleased, and really I didn't have any reason to see him except for just the check-in, the update on the numbers. We talked a little bit about vitamin D, which I think I'm going to take a supplement just because it's so dark all the time. That, and I already do the B12, so not really into supplements. We talked about some of that stuff, maybe getting my levels checked in the future. But it was just fun. It was fun to really just thank him, and because he's the reason, he's the one that introduced me to whole food plant-based eating. I didn't know anything about it until I went for my follow-up with him, which I had never met him before. So it was just out of the hospital. He was my referral doctor. It was just all meant to happen. I don't believe in accidents. This certainly was not an accident. So leading into the new year, right? Tomorrow is 2022, which I cannot even believe that. It kind of makes me feel really old, I gotta say, because when I would look into the future, when I think of the 80s, I think, that was a long time ago. But the 90s seemed like that was not that long ago. And a lot happened for me in that time frame. And yeah, 2022. Wow. But anyways, I wanted to talk about, because everybody talks about resolutions, right? Talks about New Year resolutions. I want to talk about how I think they're dumb. And I did a little search. I've listened to lots of podcasts. I don't know if you're a podcast person. Hopefully you are. But I listen to a ton of podcasts. When I do my walking, when I'm doing laundry, when I do dishes, when I'm, cooking, I put my earbuds in, I grab some of my favorite podcasts and I kind of follow along. So everybody on the podcast circuit is doing like the resolution stuff. And I was listening to a few of them, and a lot of them are right on. But anyways, if you do a quick Google search, I think, which I did, I think 80% of all resolutions are unsuccessful. And I don't remember I think after a year, I would assume 80% are unsuccessful. And I don't know statistically how old that study is, but I did see it again and again. So that's what the Googles say. And I believe it to be true. I'm never one to, like even with eating whole food plant-based, I have to tell you, and I'm going to share this, for like more, I have plans to do more sharing for, how, like what I think works, what works for me, but what I think works that maybe, what I want to say, that others in the whole food plant-based realm, it's, you know, everybody has different ideas of what the best is, and learning about holistic nutrition, I realize everybody's different. And what's so good about whole food plant-based eating is it's open for you to tailor it to what your needs are. So I'm going to share more of that in the future. I'm not doing that today, but I want to talk about how if you want to like set yourself some goals, right? Because everybody does. It's a new start, new year. You can start new anytime. It doesn't have to be just because tomorrow is the first day of the year. But I think it feels good to think about what are the things that we want to do for the upcoming year. And I think that you can set goals like, I want to lose weight. I have had a lot of people talk to me about that. And they want to lose weight. They see how much weight I've lost. I've lost, over 80 pounds now. And I have to say, it hasn't really been that hard, but how it's worked is I didn't focus on losing 80 pounds. I didn't say I need to lose 80 pounds. Although I did need to lose 80 pounds, that wasn't my focus. And I think that I was talking to my oldest daughter that lives with us, and we were talking about it. And I think the key is not focusing on the end, but focusing on how to get there. So in your mind, I want to lose weight, right? And don't set yourself up with like goals that maybe don't feel attainable at the moment, but set yourself up for success by setting goals to do the things that will get you to what you want, if that makes sense. So I made some notes here. So focus on the actions that lead to the goal. And those should be your goals, the actions. So every day I'm going to go to bed on time. I'm going to move my body every day. I'm going to, drink more water. I'm going to start adding more fruits and vegetables into my diet. If you want my advice, cut all the other stuff out and go all in. But I know not everybody can do that. We'll talk about that more later. The all in. I think the all in is the way to go, but I know not everybody can do that. But setting the goals, your daily goals. And I think sometimes for me, what's worked with all of this is I got up every day. I didn't feel like I failed if I didn't get all of my things done to reach my end goal, but I wasn't focused on like just the weight. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to be healthy. Each day, making choices to improve my health. Every choice, every day that I put food in my mouth and making the choices. But like, let's say today I go out there and I eat a whole bunch of that vegan cheese with some crackers, and both of those are full of oil, and I try to stay away from the oil because I know the added oil is just empty calories that gives me nothing. If I do that, I do it. And then the next meal, I make better choices. I'm not falling off the wagon because there's no wagon to fall off. It's a lifestyle. And I think that when you can start to not feel like you're setting yourself up for failing per se, and I think that's what resolutions do. They're just so broad. And I even wrote this down because I know you've all heard this, but a goal without a plan is just a wish. I think that's what a resolution is a wish. Without having a plan, that I think that you're just wishing for something to happen. And that's no different than, you can ask the Lord and he will grant lots of things. And, but you've still got to have some action. And, so anyways, I just wanted to share that. A couple other tips I have. I want to show you, this is, and I don't think I showed this, but this is I love planners, guys. I love planners. I used to sell from a planning company. It was a direct sales company. I used to sell, and I really like all the little things, but I will tell you, I always felt like I needed to fill them all out, right? Like all the little sections. And I've come to know myself. I do really well with just notebooks, right? So, but here, I don't know if see? It's like, has all these tabs. I got this on Amazon, super inexpensive. So it has all these tabs, and I'm going to use one for each area that I want to focus on and keep track of things and date, and I will date my page and just scribble all over it. I like having the freedom to be able to scribble. I have a couple other notebooks that match these, and I'll organize all of my things, my eating, my meal planning, all of the stuff I need to do just by putting it in a simple notebook. Doesn't have to be fancy. But if you're a spreadsheet kind of gal or man or dude or whatever, I understand. But having a planner and planning is how you're going to be successful for what it is that you want to do for the new year. That's my little tip, because if you don't plan, it's not going to happen. And I think when it comes to eating whole food plant-based, because that's what this video is supposed to be about, right? You got to have a plan. Like every day I know I either put in my phone or I write it down. Like I plan what our meals are for the week. I don't always eat the same thing that I had originally planned for that day, but I know in the morning what I'm doing for the evening. I know I consistently eat pretty much the same thing every morning, and I love it. And I never thought I would be that person, honestly. And I know I've talked about that before. I feel like I've become a little bit more boring, but I love my food, and I love having the same. I have my waffles and my fruit every morning. Sometimes I'll mix it up and have maybe some overnight oats or some oatmeal, but Darren or I make a batch of waffles for the week, and I eat my waffles, and I have my blueberries and my bananas, and that's what I have every single morning with some chia seeds, and then my lunch is usually leftovers from the night before, but there's a plan, so that's why it's worked. Okay, so there's that. The other thing I have a little tip is something, and I can't really show it to you because of the way I've got my my iPad set up here, but on my laptop, it's been several years ago when I was doing the studio, when I had the art studio, I did a vision board, which I thought was kind of hokey. I got to tell you, I thought it was a little hokey, but it was really was good. And then I started reading about like digital ones, and I have on my laptop desktop is like a vision board of things that I would like to do, or things that I want to focus on. And I have like a picture of my kids, and it says time, and I have daily exercise, and I have let thy food be thy medicine, and it has been. And I have just different things that I want to do and focus on, and it's so good to have that on the daily, something I'm looking at. And so if you want any more info on that, or you want me to share with you like what it exactly looks like and like how I did it, I would be happy to do that. Because I think it does, having some vision for what you want in your life is really important. What you want to accomplish, things you want to do, areas you want to focus on. It doesn't have to be, I don't know. It could be whatever it wants, whatever you want the future you to be. So anyways, I just want to share that. Okay. The other thing that I'm doing starting in the new year is, I know that probably most of you have heard of this book. I've been, an avid reader for the last 8 months. It's been all about, eating whole food plant-based, or I did Mastering Diabetes, the China Study, the other T. Colin Campbell book, Whole. Let's see, what else did I have? I haven't gotten through Whole yet, all of it, but I got this book, guys. I got Atomic Habits by James Clear. I listened to him on a Ritual podcast, and I was so impressed. And then I'm like, this is the habits thing. This is how I've gotten to where I am. And I didn't even really realize that it was the small changes. And I think I had talked about, what was the other book? The Darren Hardy book. What is it? I can't think now. I'm having a brain fart. Hold on. I'm going to see if I've got it over here. Well, anyways, you're probably all out there screaming at the video. Oh, what is it? I can't think. But anyways, I got this, so I'm going to start reading this and see how I think that it's gonna help me too to continue to build healthy habits. So, I'll share with you how it is. And if you've already read it, I'd love to hear what you think of it, and if you've implemented any of what he shares. So we've got that. Okay, so now 14 minutes in. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the big announcement. Hopefully you've stayed with me until now, and I just want to thank you all for watching. This has been something else. When I think about 2021, it started out a little crazy for me, and eventually I will share that, what all was going on a year ago. Not right now, but eventually I will. And it was a tough way to start a year. And now looking back, I just think, gosh, I'm just so blessed. I mean, beyond blessed. But the transformation for me this year, and it's all started with the food. It's all started with the food, guys. I've been able to like really get my life back, and the power's in the plants. And what I never really, when I started doing these videos, it was really just for me to have some accountability. I knew every Friday I was going to come in here and talk to the screen and just kind of do a recount of my week and how things have went. And it's been good for me. And I'm, making notes and kind of looking back, and I didn't know where it was going. I did the first thing I did was the Forks Over Knives, their cooking course. So I went through their whole plant-based cooking course and graduated from that. And then I did the T. Colin Campbell course for the plant-based nutrition through eCornell, graduated from that. And then I just recently finished my certified holistic nutrition coaching course. And I just, everything's just been kind of, well, let's see where this goes. But I've had some ideas along the way. And I think the next step for me is, and I've had in my mind, the fork fix. The fork fix it's been my path to healing and happiness and health. And I am going to, starting next week, hopefully, I will be doing the same video, but it will be called The Fork Fix. And it's going to be a podcast on Anchor. So I'll do the video, and we'll have topics, and I don't know, maybe I'll interview people, or I have no idea where it'll go. But I know that it's something that I want to do. It's another way for me to share and get the message out there for a whole food plant-based living. But so I'll share all that information. If you're not following along on Bants on Plants on Facebook or Instagram or here on YouTube, feel free to reach out. I will post information in those areas as to what, where you can find everything. And I don't know how things will change for social media. Right now, Bants on Plants, the Facebook page, is not changing. If you're not in my Whole Food Plant-Based Basics, get in there, because I'll be announcing some of the stuff in there and sharing all of that in there. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is starting the forkfix.com, and it'll be a blog. So it'll be another way for me to share information and share recipes and all of the things. So I'm really excited about that. So hopefully you'll continue to follow along, and you can check out all the new stuff that'll be happening. And if you have any questions for me, if there's any way that I can help, if you have any tips or comments on what you thought about reading this, if you've ever read The Atomic Habits by James Clear, I'd love that. It's going to be a good year, guys. And I'm hoping that for any of you out there that are listening to this, if you're not already eating whole food plant-based, really consider it. Really think about, incorporate, if you're not willing to, at this point, if you're not ready to completely give up meat and, animal protein and dairy, meat and cheese, whatever, start doing more of the vegetables and the fruit, because it'll make you feel, you will feel better. I promise you'll feel better. And the one thing is, I was sitting this week with the doctor that I said was, I didn't know how bad I felt. Before, I honestly knew I felt bad. I knew all the problems, and I'll be talking about that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to share a lot more next week on things I didn't even share in the beginning, health-wise, where I was at. But I didn't have any idea how bad I felt until I felt better. And you can have that too. I'm nobody special. I'm just someone making choices every day to, improve my health. But it all started with the food. It was what was on my fork. So that can happen for you too. It's not hard. Honestly, it's not. So anyway, thank you all for watching. You have a blessed rest of your year. Yeah, it's almost over, right? We start new tomorrow. You can start new with eating whole food plant-based. You can do it too. So thanks again. Pop in next week and see how this is all going to go with the Fork Fix. And I look forward to sharing more with you. See ya. Bye.